Todd Phillips' standalone supervillain origin story. Joker is arriving in theaters amid so much controversy and concern about the potential for copycat violence that the debate has largely overwhelmed the film itself. It's been fascinating to watch the discussion around the movie shift from, do we really need another Joker story so soon after Suicide Squad? To, is Joker full of dangerous ideas that will spur its worst fans to murder? The initial worries around Joker assumed the movie would be unnecessary, its impact negligible. The current questions ascribe it with too much importance, as if it might incite full-blown anarchy just by existing. As usual in a case where people leap to extremes, the truth is somewhere in the middle. Joker may make some people who feel marginalized feel more seen and more powerful, and they may act out in response. There are some ugly, self-serving messages in the movie, which is incongruously bent on creating sympathy for Batman's worst enemy and one of DC Comics' most notoriously callous mass murderers and atrocity architects. But love it or hate it, the film does spin up a tempting fantasy of persecution and relief, of embracing nihilism as a means of complete escape from a terrible world. Arthur is mentally ill and coping via meds and court-ordered therapy, which don't offer comfort or represent caring. He's devoted to his sick mother Penny, Frances Conroy, who's encouraged him to see himself as a joyous light in the world, bringing laughter to the people. The problem is that he isn't particularly funny. He's painfully awkward, the kind of twitchy, social incompetence people shy away from in public because his erratic behavior feels like it could turn dangerous. At least uncomfortable for them. It's easy for viewers to empathize with his desire to be loved without necessarily loving him. When he says he feels invisible, it's clear why. He's the kind of person people look away from on the street, out of apathy or active discomfort. That tension between sympathy and revulsion is one of the most honest things about Joker, which mostly goes out of its way to make the world awful. While working as a sign twirler, Arthur is randomly beaten by a handful of kids, who steal his sign and then break it over his head. His boss not only doesn't believe his story, he demands Arthur pay for the missing sign. The dramatic ironies and injustices compound throughout the film, until it's clear that Arthur isn't paranoid, the world really is out to get him. And then he takes violent, irrevocable. For much of its runtime, Joker is a consciously ugly film, visually and emotionally. Arthur starts with close to nothing, and loses it all incrementally, in ways designed to hurt empathetic viewers. It's hypnotic just how horrifying Arthur's existence is, just as Phoenix's performance is hypnotic as he spirals from fragile hope into increasingly outsized and confident acts of destruction. And then he escapes it all by learning not to care, not about how or whether other people see him, not about whether he hurts or frightens or kills them, not about whether his final act manifesto makes any sort of coherent sense. The important part of Arthur's story, and the cause for so much of the concern around Joker, is that when he embraces his most nihilistic and destructive impulses, he suddenly earns the praise and attention he's been lacking. Thank you everyone, keep supporting JB Addicted Boys.